If I lost everything tomorrow and had to rebuild my creator brand from scratch, this is exactly what I would do in the first 90 days. So I've been doing this for years now, and I've made every mistake in the book, from wasted months overthinking, spending way too much on mentorship, and being in a true analysis paralysis. And through all that, I've learned what it actually takes to move the needle. And if I had to start all over, I wouldn't waste half the time I wasted on meaningless tasks that don't actually move the needle. So this is my exact roadmap and the first 9 things that I would do if I had to restart my creator brand today. And whether you're just starting out or you've been stuck in your notes app, constantly writing down ideas and just don't know how to start, this is your blueprint. So let's get into it. Step 1 is to get brutally clear on your goals. Before you film a single video, write a caption, or start looking for inspiration, there's one question that you need to answer. What do I actually want to get from this? And I don't mean I just want to be successful, super vague response. I mean, do you want to quit your 9 to 5? Do you want to land brand deals? Do you want to sell a course or product? Do you want creative freedom to travel? Do you want to build a production company? Because here's the deal, your goals are gonna dictate your entire strategy as a creator. If you want to land brand deals, your strategy will be different than if you want to be a coach. So get as specific as you can, because if you don't know your actual direction, you're just gonna be posting into the void and you're never actually gonna take a step in the right direction. Step number 2 is to build your foundation, your identity, your avatar, and your core mission. And now that you know what you want, you need to take the time to figure out who you're speaking to and what you're trying to say. And this is the part that most people skip, and it leaves their content feeling scattered and all over the place. So you really need to lock in these 3 different things. To start, your identity. This is what you do, what you stand for, and all of your perspectives of the world. For me, that's building a sustainable creator career that is beautiful, aesthetic, cinematic, and doing all of that without burning out. And that is my lens for everything that I do. Everything that I do pushes to that one mantra. Next is your avatar, and I don't mean content creators from 18 to 35. I mean one exact person who you can relate to the most. One version of yourself in the past that you can help bridge the gap from where they are to where you are as quickly as possible. And using a version of yourself in the past makes it so easy to give the best advice, because those are real experiences that you've lived. And between the billions of people on the social media apps, somebody will relate directly with that message, and the deeper that you go into it, the better that it's gonna come off to those people. And so the closer that your story matches theirs, the faster that they're going to trust you. And then understand your core mission. And one exercise that really helped me do this was the Ikigai experiment. And so the Ikigai experiment is the intersection of the 4 pillars of life. Outlining all of that and seeing what overlays is gonna be your core mission. What you are good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. And if you can immediately nail this step in, which only takes a few hours if you actually spend focused time, you're gonna be years ahead of other people who have been doing this and just haven't taken the time to actually think of why they're doing it in the first place. Step number 3 is a creator analysis, and that is just 30 days of deep study into creators who you look up to. And so here's exactly what I would do, and this is actually something that I did last year when I was going through a rebrand of my own. I'd pick 3 to 5 creators that I genuinely look up to from a content perspective, from a career perspective, from a charisma perspective, and then I would only consume their content for the next 30 days. And not just casually, I would study every element of their creator path. I would study their funnels, the content that they produce, their origin story, and where they came from, and it just gives you such a better idea of the steps that you need to take to get into their position. And so as you're looking through their content, think about their hooks, think about how they structure their video, how they set up their short form versus long form content, their email newsletters, what campaigns they're releasing, how they're interacting directly with their clients, whether that's through stories, Q&As, just being very active in their comments, whatever they're doing from a day-to-day perspective, try to understand that so you can implement it into your own strategy. Below this video, I'm actually gonna link a Notion guide that'll let you run through your own creator analysis, and you can actually just drop screenshots and links of whatever you produce directly into that document. And it's a great way to get started if you're really trying to hone in the content aesthetic of your new brand versus other brands out there. Step number 4 is to get comfortable on camera. And I use a challenge called the Raw Dog Challenge that was gifted to me by a mentor last year. And this is a little bit uncomfortable, but it's kind of a non-negotiable if you have any sort of stage fright when it comes to speaking directly to the camera. Because if you're not confident speaking to the camera, then nothing else matters. And one quote that I love is that if you are a 10 out of 10 at your craft, but you're only a 3 out of 10 at communicating it, what will your audience perceive you as? So confidence in speaking to the camera is way more valuable than most people give it credit. And so going through some sort of exposure therapy challenge is really gonna help you when it comes to improving your skill of talking to the camera. And so the way that I did this was for every day for 30 days, set your camera up and speak unscripted for 10 minutes. You can speak about your favorite camera, you can speak about your relationships, you can use it as a video journal. All you do is speak unscripted, set a timer, and then once that timer goes off, you watch the video back and choose one thing to get better at the next day. Do this for the next 30 days and you're gonna be feeling amazing about speaking to the camera. And one thing that's also helped me realize is that speaking off the cuff is so much better than trying to read directly from a script. And you may notice in videos in the past that I've created, it feels like I'm reading from a script, and that's because it was, and I could notice it as well. But now I've moved to trying to pick out talking points about things that I'm knowledgeable in, and then just speaking unscripted about them for a minute or so, and then using the phrase edit like a scientist to whittle out the best pieces of what I spoke about. And you don't necessarily have to post this piece of content, though if you want to continue to build your brand and build in public, then it's a good idea. But if you're at the stage where you have serious stage fright about how to step up in front of the camera, this is a great method for you to internally start battling this before throwing yourself out there. And then step number 5, play the long game. It is a race to 500 posts. The truth that most people don't want to hear is that this is a numbers game, and it's all about the creator who can become the most sustainable version of themselves. And so you may go viral in your first 20 posts. It's unlikely, but it may happen. And even if that does happen, that's not gonna give you long-term success if you don't know how to stay consistent and build the system that allows you to get to 500 posts as soon as possible. And for almost every example that you see, your favorite creators are probably near 1,000 or in the thousands of posts because they have showed up consistently for a period of time and developed their voice. And that's why you love them. You love them for their comfort in front of camera, their confidence, everything that they've done from a creator perspective is shown in that number in their bio. It's not how many followers they have, it's how many posts they have. How many days they woke up and they said, shit, I need to get something out and I need to get it out quick. And then they just went and made it happen. And they continued to show up and they found a way to stay as consistent as they could for the span of months and then years. And so your goal as a creator is to get to 500 posts as soon as possible. Don't put so much emphasis on these first posts. You can almost look at them like a lottery. You can try whatever you want. You don't have an audience, and you really can think that these posts are not gonna move the needle when it comes to my bigger brand image down the line. So experiment. Get super weird with it and allow your thoughts to really flow and take you into areas that don't pigeonhole you into this frame that you might put yourself in if you're constantly overthinking things. And that's actually something that I did. I wanted every video to be like my favorite creators, but then you realize that you're not in the same path as your favorite creators. And so just focusing on getting to 500 posts and focusing on your output is so much better than focusing on the algorithm, which is out of your control. Step number 6, don't be original, be good. So I'm gonna say something that's gonna piss off some people, and the truth is that nothing anymore is truly original. Everything has been borrowed by somebody, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Everything has been done. Everything on social media, you can see elements of things that feel very original, but they're always stemmed to something else. And so the idea of just trying to be as original as you can in the beginning doesn't make sense. You should focus on being the best version that you can to attract the audience. And so don't be original, be good. And the way you can do this is stop trying to constantly reinvent the wheel. And building a personal brand, the beauty of that is that you have so many stories, you have so many personal experiences that you can piggyback on and tell those stories. Your perspective, your voice, your experiences, all of those things can help you actually be the most original version of yourself, but you just put it into a recyclable format that makes it much easier to stay consistent. So find a structure that works for other creators, maybe that's a trend or a version of that, and then put your own story, your own experience, your own life into that, and that's how you can kind of bridge that gap of not trying to just be super original with every post, but staying consistent and putting out what you can. And obviously I'm not saying that chasing trends is the only way to do this, but when it does come to finding a recyclable format That is the best way to grow. Especially in today's space, the algorithm is rewarding people who show up with the exact same message, just slightly tweaked, and very minimal differences from day to day on the type of content that they're creating. So find a format that's working for others, can work for you, and put your story directly into it. Step number 7, give people a reason to follow you. Here's a bit of a hard question. Why should somebody follow you? And I don't mean because you create good content. What can they get from you that they can't get from somebody else? What combinations of things can you put together that makes you feel slightly more unique than the next creator in line? And so people follow you for one of two reasons. They either want to be where you're at, you're living the life that they aspire to be, and they want to get there as soon as possible, or they want to see the world the way that you see it. And that's because your perspective really resonates with them. You have a good way of putting words to feelings that they couldn't previously articulate. So ask yourself, which one are you? And if it's not a clear answer, then start with step number 2. Because if you can't figure out why somebody would follow you, then the other people won't either. Which makes it super easy to continue to show up and just give your perspective on the things that are happening and the things that you see in life. Step number 8 is to learn the skills and tools to keep you efficient. And so here's the reality. You cannot stay consistent if it takes you 8 hours to post one video. So you need to get as efficient as possible. And a few ways that you can do this are by building systems and learning how to edit faster. And then so the best way to do this is by learning actual skills and systems to stay as efficient as possible. This is how to edit fast, how to store a bank of hooks that you can come back to, how to batch create your content, how to repurpose one idea into 5 different platforms. The faster that you can go from an idea to a published piece of content is going to keep you the most consistency, and that consistency is going to build momentum. So invest into tools, into mentorship, into actually building out templates that you can come back to remove as much friction as you can from the process and continue to show up. And if there's one thing that I've learned as a creator is that effort does not equal results. And you can spend 8 hours on one video that gets 30 likes and 10 minutes on a video that goes viral. You don't know what's gonna work, so don't let that be a crutch and get in the way of you showing up consistently. Which brings us to the final step, just find a way to show up every day. And this is single-handedly the reason that separates the people who don't make it from those who do. Find a way to show up every day. If there's one thing that you take from this entire video, it's find a way to show up every day. If you can do that, then you will eventually find success. It's literally only a matter of time. So build a system that allows you to get a week ahead, 2 weeks ahead, and stay as consistent as possible. So batch your content, build a library of B-roll and tools and templates. Find a way to capture all of your ideas and develop them into actual finished posts. Whatever works for you, the systems that are required to show up every day are what's gonna make you a successful creator down the line. Because the truth is that the people who win are not the ones who spend 12 hours a day working, it's those who figured out the systems to get ahead of the curve. They're the ones who built a system that worked for them. So find yours and get ahead and continue to show up. So that's it, that's the plan. If I had to restart today, those are the 9 steps that I would take immediately to rebuild my creator brand. So if you want any help building your personal brand and the content system that pushes that, there's a link below to my community, FS Creative, which is designed to help you do exactly that. Inside the community, there's an exact roadmap for how you can relaunch your personal brand as soon as possible and the content system that will allow you to stay consistent with it. And so if that sounds like something that could help you, click the link below and I'll see you inside. And if you got any value out of this video, I would appreciate if you hit subscribe. This is a brand new channel and I plan to do much more on personal branding, content creation, and then just lifestyle content as I continue to grow my own personal brand here in Mexico. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll chat with you soon.